Cradled within the arms of the rivers Ganges and Brahmaputra to the south, and the mysterious plateau of Tibet to the north, majestically stands the mightiest mountain range on the face of the earth, the Himalaya. This is the story of an expedition to this rugged barrier, not to assault on its windswept, towering heights, but to find and study plant life, which had heretofore been unknown or inaccessible. This is the story of that mission, of how a small group of people found themselves in pursuit of a crude and primitive civilization, which once only existed as a figment of the imagination. Starting from Los Angeles, California, and after careful study of the region, the first leg of the expedition took me to Bombay, India. There I proceeded to the town of Shekhar, the last settlement before entering the wilderness of rock and ice. There I selected 10 Sherpa natives to serve as porters. My name is Parrish, Dr. Frank Parrish. By profession, I am a botanist, working for the Corey Foundation. To record the visual log of our expedition, I engaged Peter Wells, well qualified to serve as a photographer. As our guide, I hired Subra, the only English-speaking Sherpa acquainted with the terrain. Only the most essential equipment was selected and distributed among the members of our party. All preparations completed, and everything on schedule, at noon on June 14th, we set out to strike at the mountain. Subra's young wife, Tala, and his brother Leva accompanied us to the foot of the mountains before saying goodbye. The first days were uneventful, monotonous, and tedious. But as we moved on to higher regions, the terrain became more rugged and difficult. Wells and I kept up with the Sherpas, who were much like human mules under the weight of our heavy supplies. We continued on to a height of 10,000 feet above sea level, where I wanted to commence my work. At last on the day, we reached the plateau region.
Subra, have your men pitch the tents. Up
to this point, having established only temporary camps, Everyone was eager for our first hot meal. Camp 1 was now well established. Except for a variety of common moss and crucifer flower, we found little of interest. But we decided to comb the area more thoroughly for the next few days.
How about a shot?
No, thanks.
Excuse me, Mr. Doctor. Everything all right? Camp all set up.
Everything's fine, Subra, thank you.
Alcohol good? Fine. Here, help yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Doctor. Wells?
I'm no doctor.
Want anything?
No, thank you, Subra. I'll see you later.
I'll fix nice hot supper.
Wonderful tonic. Warms up the gizzards.
Keep that up and you'll pickle your gizzard. Wells, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't hand out that stuff to any of the men, and don't drink in their presence, understand?
Okay. Suits me.
Shekhar, come in. Come in, Shekhar. This is Dr. Parrish.
This is Shekhar. Yes, Doctor.
Let me speak to Inspector Karma, please.
We'll get Inspector Karma.
That night, all seemed well in the town of Shekhar.
Mr. Doctor, 사실 Mr. Doctor이야. Mr. Doctor. Mr. Doctor.
Oh, Subra, what is it?
Yeti. Yeti, Mr. Doctor.
Huh?
Yeti.
What's all the noise?
My brother Riva. He come with 4 men.
They followed us all the way up here? What do they want?
Brother say, Yeti steal my woman, Tara. We leave. Go after Yeti.
Yeti, what is this?
Yeti, creature of snow. Snow giant.
Oh, you mean the abominable snowman, the phantom of the Himalayas, marauder of women.
We go after Yeti. Find him.
Oh, the newspapers and magazines have carried stories about it from time to time, but... Yeah, the sheriffs have built this creature into a horror story. This isn't a hunting party. Thousands of dollars have been spent to finance this expedition, and he wants to chase a legend.
Mr. Doctor, Yeti real, Mr. Doctor.
No one's ever seen one. Oh, I know people have brought back stories about these semi-humans. Oh, the whole thing sounds fantastic.
Brother say, Yeti steal Tara.
I'm sorry, Subra. Have your brother and his men join us if they want to, but we have other work to do.
Because of my decision, I felt that Subra resented and disliked me.
What do you think's going on out there?
Well, it sounds like Subra trying to be very important. I better find out. What do you mean?
Subra, I want to talk to you.
Talk.
What's the meaning of this? I gave no order to break camp.
You move.
I'll tell you when to move.
We move now.
Subra, what's come over you? You sent some of our men away, didn't you?
Only 4 our men. Other 4 belong Brother Leva.
Concerned with our men, now come back.
They look this side of the mountain. We look the other side for Yeti.
I'll shoot any man who doesn't obey.
You know can shoot.
Empty. They're taking our cartridges.
Subra, this is mutiny.
Subra, take guns.
All right. Where do you intend to look for this creature?
Everybody look. Rocky Valley Legion.
Why, that's ridiculous. This part is not equipped for that kind of thing.
Subra no care.
Well, may as well let them go. There's no point in our following along. We might as well turn back.
Turn back?
No can find a way. We move now.
Well, I think I need a drink.
Yeah, you'll need more than that. Wait a minute. What about the radio?
By Jove, that's an idea.
Get packed. We move right away. Come on. Come on.
Whether Wells and I liked it or not, we had no alternative but to follow along.
Wells.
Wait a minute.
Did you hear something? No, it's just the ready wind.
I think this is it. Give me some light.
Oh, it's my scotch.